You.
Giddy up.
Yo, welcome back, everybody, to the Rock Fantasy Files. And yes, I even showed up tonight. Can you believe it? But James is still running, hitting the record button tonight. So we're actually going to continue on a series that we started back in 2024, where we were kind of comparing Iron Maiden with Judas Priest. We did a lot of the early stuff last year. If anybody wants to dig into the archives and look back, and then a few weeks ago, James and a couple of guys actually hosted one and talked about the years where Blaze and Ripper came in and replaced, of course, Rob and Bruce Dickinson. And of course, tonight we decided to hop back in and continue this series a little bit and change gears a little bit. I know we've all been talking about Ozzy and Black Sabbath a lot, and it's been horrible month or so since we lost Ozzy, but we're switching gears a little bit tonight, and we're going to compare two albums of when Bruce Dickinson and Rob Halford returned to their respective bands, Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. The first one we'll talk about is Angel of Retribution, is the 15th studio album by Judas Priest. It was released in 2005. It was the band's first album since 1990's Painkiller to feature Rob Halford on vocals. It debuted at number 13 on the Billboard 200, made it the fourth highest charting Judas Priest album in the U.S. Album was produced by Roy Z, who co-wrote the song Deal with the Devil. It won a 2005 Metal Hammer Award for Best Album. And the Burn magazine readers pop poll was voted Best Album of the Year and Best Album Cover of the Year. Track listing on this is Judas Rising, kicking off the album, Deal with the Devil, Revolution, Worth Fighting For, Demonizer, Wheels of Fire, Angel, Hellrider, Eulogy, and rounding out the album is Loch Ness. Second album we're going to chat about tonight is Brave New World. It's the 12th studio album by Iron Maiden. It was released on May 29th of 2000. It was their first studio release since the return of longtime singer Bruce Dickinson, who left in 1993, and guitarist Adrian Smith, who left in 1990. And it's the band's first studio recording. It's a six-piece. It's Janet Gears, who replaced Smith in 1990, remained with the band. Track listing on this album kicks off with The Wicker Man, Ghost and Navigator, Brave New World, Blood Brothers, The Mercenary, Dream of Mirrors, Fallen Angel, The Nomad, Out of the Silent Planet, and it rounds out with The Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I can remember when both of these albums came out. I remember quite a bit more, actually, for Brave New World. I can remember that when that came out that year and just listening to that album constantly when it was released. And as I go into my picks later on, I'm going to say that if this was 20 years ago, I think I would have picked a different album. The last week or two where we've been preparing this album, preparing this battle or contest, I've actually leaned to the other side a little bit. But I'd like to welcome everybody to the channel tonight. We got James Delisle from Disc and Dat Records and Crucial Pain in the house. We got Tony Dio from the Southlands. That Tony's got a channel that he's working to, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of it because I haven't been on
Tony
YouTube.
Dio's Metal Emporium.
There we go. Tony Dio's Metal Emporium. I'll know to introduce you as that going forward. We got Tim Dennebaum, the lead vocalist from the Northeast, one of their premier British Steel, one of the premier Judas Priest tributes. We got Richard Johnson. Every time we have him on, we get a lot of ratings, man, a lot of views. He's a famous guy.
Truck driver to the stars.
Got a lot of connections in the music industry and still works in the music industry. And you can go back a few episodes and see where Chris Allo was chatting with him in a couple of the Black Sabbath episodes. We got Count Ralphus here, our local vampire music historian and metal historian. We got Obie, our resident Viking. And we got Ed Farsley, who's a busy man because he's gearing down on his Armageddon Productions big festival coming up in 2 weeks, and we'll talk to him about that tonight also. So we're just going to go around once, and this is pretty much what album do you like better? Maybe pick 3 tracks from each album like we usually do, and I think we'll go around once, and we'll get, like, if you've only got money to buy one at the record store, which one are you going to take home with you tonight? So I think I'm going to kick off tonight with our special guest. Tim's been on a bunch of these, especially this series, and maybe we'll kick off with Tim tonight and get his point of view on both of these records.
All right. Yeah, so I had to go back and just do a little quick listen. I haven't listened to either one of these albums in a while. Angel of Retribution. Through the years, we've done a couple songs off of this. In fact, usually Judas Rising is one of those songs that kind of comes and goes in and out of our set list. We haven't done it in a while. And when I first joined British Steel, this album was still relatively new, and we were doing Revolution, and it kind of fell off. We stopped doing it. And but both these albums I think are strong albums for both bands. One thing about Iron Maiden, I feel like I like their shorter stuff better, I think, of their newer material. And so I tend to gravitate more towards the shorter, more succinct songs. Like, for instance, listening back to Brave New World, and of course I have the CD here, and for the life of me, I could not find Angel of Retribution. I have that CD, and I could not find it. But The Wicker Man, I've always liked that song. I thought that's classic sounding Maiden. And Fallen Angel, that song, that's another one. And are 2 of the shorter songs. But actually, on this particular album, I don't mind the longer songs, because it seems like this was a little bit of a refresh for Iron Maiden when Bruce Dickinson came back. Because I find that a lot of the newer Maiden, when I say newer Maiden, like say from like the mid 90s to present, a lot of their stuff tends to get a little, they're long and they kind of get a little boring for me. But this album actually has a little bit of a refreshing sound to it, and it's strong. It's a good album. And as far as Angel of Retribution, it's kind of the same thing with them. It was the return of Rob Halford, and in the same way, I feel like it kind of refreshed them a little bit as well. And there's some standout songs on there. Like I mentioned, Judas Rising. I always like Demonizer. I think that's a ripping song. Hell Rider. But even on this, the couple of the ballads on there are good. But probably my 3 favorites, I'd say probably Judas, Demonizer, and what I mentioned before. Actually, Angel. I would say I'd put Demonizer ahead of that, but I like Angel. And just like I said with Iron Maiden, sometimes when these classic metal bands get into doing these long songs, I'm kind of so Loch Ness isn't one of my favorites. I feel like that was kind of like the precursor to the prophet, or to
Nostradamus.
Yeah, Nostradamus. I was going to say the prophecy, Nostradamus. We used to do the prophecy. That's another one, but I don't know. I'm not as much into that long stuff. It's like I don't mind long songs, but I feel like if they're just long for the sake of being long, I'm not really. It just feels like it just goes.
Did you guys stop playing that because people started going to the restroom during that song?
Well, actually, the prophecy I think went over well, but again, that's like a shorter song on that album, and at least I used to wear
that's one of the better
silver
ones.
Yeah, the silver cape and everything. But then the album just kind of goes on forever from there. But if I had to pick, I'd say they're both very equal, I probably would put the edge a little bit towards Angel of Retribution, because I would say in terms of the 2 bands, I'm probably a little more of a Priest fan than I am Iron Maiden. So that would probably give the edge for me for Angel. But it's not to take anything away from either album. I think they're both very strong. And it was kind of cool listening back to Brave New World. And I had to, again, listen to Angel of Retribution again, just to, because I haven't really been listening to those albums much. But I give Angel just a slight edge.
I didn't give you much notice. I think I let you know this morning, didn't I?
Yeah, so I had to
You
really
guys
cram
doing
for
that
this one.
job.
Yeah, I did. I had to do my cramming to
I
listen to
know.
him.
Ralph hit me up last night. He's like, "Are we doing an episode this week?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll do it. All right, let's do it. Get together." And I figured I'd reach out to you since you did the series before.
Right, right.
Cool. Well, thanks for hopping in tonight. And
Absolutely.
Steve, you gotta let Richard go because he's got the Jonas Brothers waiting for him at 4 in the
Oh, he
morning.
does?
He was kind of just jumping in there. They're gonna be
Oh,
pounding
okay.
on his door tomorrow.
All
and
right, so I'll
you don't want
let
to
us
piss
go.
piss off the Jonas Brothers.
Oh my God. That's that we got
The Jonas Brothers were at Bethel Woods, I think, last night.
Yeah, Richard was with him.
Oh, you were? You were up
Not
here,
yet,
Richard?
not yet. He's going to get him.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm going to Toronto, but yeah, I just
All
don't
right,
tell
so
anybody.
anyhow,
Don't tell anybody. But
let's kick Richard in there now. We weren't supposed to mention where he's at there, Ralph.
yeah, I thought this was Jonas Brothers versus Judas Priest. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah, Angel of the Brothers.
Jonas Brothers versus Doobie Brothers.
oof.
But
I'll take the two days for
The
500.
old J&J.
oh, but yeah, definitely. I didn't really have to study or think about this very much because I'm partial to Judas Priest, and I did the Angel tour, and the Ozfest before that, and it's just like I don't know. I just feel like it was exciting. They got back with Bruce or whatever, but it's like I was. I'm just I at some point it just the songs Seventh Son I think for me is when the songs got so long, and like the song "Can I Play with Madness" is not a bad song, but it's just I swear it's 30 minutes long. I can't take it. But the so the songs are so long on that, but like the Wicker Man, there's certain things that are okay, Wicker Man or whatever. But it's like there's things about Angel of Retribution I really like, and on the tour they were doing a little acoustic set for certain people, and they were doing Diamonds and Rust and Worth Fighting For acoustic, KK, Glenn, and Rob. And I was fortunate to see that about 3 or 4 times. And it was like, man, it's still, of all the bands, of all the crap I've ever seen, that's still like, Bowie, Sabbath, whoever. I mean, that's still some of the best things I've ever seen, And so I am partial to Angel of Retribution. So I don't know how else to go about it. But yeah, I pretty much like most of the record. Judas, I felt Judas Rising is really strong, and I wish sort of Rob would find that mid range in his voice to do those kind of things like Worth Fighting For. It's not that high pitch, and it transfers to acoustic really well. But they do what they do. But yeah, definitely for me is Angel of Retribution. So
nice. All right, Richard gets a vote for Judas Priest. We got 2 votes for Judas Priest going and so far. And I'm going to head right over to our resident vampire. Count Ralph is next. You ready, Ralphie?
Yep. So yeah, I'll go first. I'm gonna talk about Brave New World. I got my tour book. It was real
Nice.
exciting when they came back. It was great that they came back with Adrian and Bruce. Got the CD, of course, and
Did you see that tour, Ralph?
oh yeah, that's where I got the
No, you did. I didn't
tour
know if you
book. I think I
picked it.
seen him actually twice on that tour, but
Where
I
did
forget
you
it.
see that
did.
tour
I
at,
forget.
Ralph?
I forget. I get it mixed up a little bit of like all the because I seen them the tour before the Ed Hunter tour. That's when they first got back together, and then they did the album and they toured again. But I get it mixed up. Is that the time when they toured with Motorhead and Rob Halford? No,
Halford.
It was Queensryche and Rob Halford.
I saw them with Queensryche and Rob Halford. I saw them in
yeah, that's what
Wilkes-Barre.
that's
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw them up at Wilkes-Barre at the Montage Mountain. What Toyota Pavilion it's called now. Yeah.
Yeah, it starts off great with the Wicker Man. I always loved the movie. It's such a classic movie. I got the original Christopher Lee movie, and then I got the Nick Cage remake. But the original is fucking phenomenal movie. So cool that they had a song for that. Yeah, I seen them at the Garden. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
First time we seen them was at the Garden. Ghost and Navigator, another song. It has like a lot of energy and power. Bruce
Yeah.
sounds amazing. Brave New World, catchy and memorable. Blood Brothers is a good mid-range, and Bruce sounds great again. The Mercenary, another cool one. Dream of Mirrors, haunting and memorable. Fallen Angel, this one has some energy. Nomad, really cool riff. I like that riff in the beginning, and it's a little long, but it's a good, cool song for them. Out of the Silent Planet, I thought was a really good one too. And then the last song was great too. I think it's a good, solid album. I think it's the best album that they have since Bruce rejoined the band. To me, it's better than all the later ones where the songs seem to get longer, like everybody's saying, and they just don't have like any fast songs in the later albums. You know, they could throw one or two fast songs and just change up the whole feel of the albums, but they don't do that. But the band that does do that all the time is Judas Priest. They do it like crazy. So here's my Angel of Retribution tour book.
Yep.
And this was really exciting when they came back, because I had seen them twice with Ripper, but I didn't get to see them back in the day. They played 5 minutes from my home on the Turbo tour or the Ram It Down tour, one of them, and I just couldn't stand that era of Judas Priest. And but when this came out, I got it right away, and I played the hell out of this album. I knew all the words to it. I mean, Judas Rising is an absolute classic. It's just a great way to kick off the album, to welcome back the metal god. Deal with the Devil's great. Revolution's a great one. Worth Fighting For is melodic and memorable, but Demonizer is so heavy and awesome. Travis's drumming throughout this album is just incredible, and the guitars on the whole album are just amazing. KK and Glenn, they're unbeatable. They really stand out way more than Adrian and Dave, I think, on the Iron Maiden album. It's like every song, they just stand out. Wheels of Fire is great. And for a ballad, I hate ballads usually, but Angel, I just fits in good with the album. But Hell Rider is so intense. I really love that one. And then, you know, Eulogy and Loch Ness. Loch Ness, the music is cool, but the chorus just gets really weird. That's the only one that, and I love cryptozoology stuff, you know, but I think the production's great, and it's so much more metal and heavier than the Iron Maiden one. So I definitely, without even thinking about it, as soon as we put them together, I knew I was going with Angel of Retribution. That's it.
Nice. Yeah, that chorus, I know what you're talking about in Loch Ness. It's like Loch Ness, Loch Ness.
But the music is cool today. If they had
It's
different
almost like it could
lyrics,
be like I don't know.
I don't think you're going to see British Steel do that one anytime soon. That's
Wait a
my
minute.
guess.
No, I was going to think to hire British Steel just to play the D sides, I guess. No.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever
Just
done
switch-
a Johnny Be Good?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
Just
we've
switch
done
the-
Ram It Down off of that album. We've done Blood Red Skies, I think.
What about
No, I'm a Rocker. We've done I'm a Rocker, and we've done Ram It Down.
you've never did You Say Yes, I Say No?
No. No, the only thing off of Point, we do Desert, Hot Rockin' we'll
Highway.
do once in a while, of course, you know, heading out to the highway, and something else.
Tony, what's that famous CD you've got with all the
Oh, the worst of Judas Priest. I
the
have it on
worst?
cassette.
Oh, he's got it. You have it right there.
Yeah, well, it's right behind.
So we're gonna
It's right
hire
there.
British Steel to play our Christmas party. They have to do that whole album.
Gotta do all of
Count
Nostradamus
Ralphus.
and Loch Ness.
Count Ralphus has one.
Here it is.
Worst of Judas Priest.
You all
can
gotta
find
wear
out.
you all gotta wear roller skates while you play that
Yeah.
whole album. You gotta wear roller skates though.
Oh yeah.
What's the track?
And you gotta add Loch Ness to it.
You've got this was made before Loch Ness, so it's Don't Go, I'm a Rocker, Prisoner of Your Eyes, You Say Yes, United, Last Rose of Summer, Johnny Be Good, Red, White, and Blue, Troubleshooter, Love Zone. Oh yeah, Love Zone should be on there for sure. Take on the World, Parental Guidance, and Turn on Your Light. Some of them were the bonus tracks that were included on some of those.
Actually, I
remixes.
like some of the songs on there though.
I do too. I mean, I like Last Rose of
Last
Summer
Rose is a
more than I
great
do.
song.
I like Last Rose a lot
Yeah.
more than I do. What's the Before the Dawn? So
Yeah. Oh,
But,
absolutely.
but yeah,
That's
it's
a great song.
But Love Zone definitely belongs on here, and Troubleshooter. I put that on there as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Prisoner of Your
Oh,
Eyes.
I
is
don't
fucking
mind it as
badass
much.
song.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, since Tony Dio's chatting, why don't we go to see Tony Dio and see what his
All right.
perspective is on these two records?
So, all right. So I'm gonna start out with Maiden, since that came out first in 2000. Yeah, I was excited about this record when it came out because Bruce and Adrian were back in the band,
Oh.
and Bruce had just released 3 solid solo records with Adrian involved with the first 2 that sounded more like Maiden than actually what the um I'm having a
Blaze
brain fart
Bailey
here.
albums.
Say what?
Then the
Yeah,
Blaze
then the
Bailey
Blaze
album?
Bailey records did. Yeah, I was trying to think of Blaze Bailey, and I'm still hearing like talking coming in from somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't
Hearing
know
that
what it's.
too.
Yeah, but yeah, so I was excited when this record came out, and so it comes out, and I liked it from the beginning. I thought it was a good record. There is a lot of draggy, slower songs on here, but compared to what came after this, I think this is maybe the last really, really good Iron Maiden record that I like a lot of stuff on. Because the stuff that came after it, I like 1 or 2 songs, and some of them I don't like anything on. But this album, I mean, The Wicker Man is just such a standout track.
yeah,
And I think it is the last great sing-along Iron Maiden song, because it's just it kicks ass. It's a fast track. You got the crowd to sing along that Your Time Has Come, and you guys know there's a different version of that. There's a video version, a video mix of the song where they say Your Time Has Come. There's another voice, like background vocals, go Thy Will Be Done. And if you watch the music video for Wicker Man, you'll hear that version. And I think that version was only released on like a radio promo single, if I'm not mistaken. I think they call it the video version, but none of the compilations. It's not on here. But yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit there to throw in. But such a great song though, and just high powered, just an excellent track. But I like Ghost and Navigator. Thought it was a good song. Brave New World's a good song. Like I said, some of the songs, if you had just chopped a little bit of them off, some of the repetitive courses, I think it would have been better songs. Roy Z produced the Bruce Dickinson solo records, and he played in Bruce's band. And Roy also produced the Rob Halford solo records, or Halford band records. And he made Bruce sound like classic Maiden, and he brought Rob back to the metal god, to the Judas Priest sounds. I really wish Roy Z had produced this record instead of Kevin Shirley, because maybe if they brought Roy Z in and did one album with him, maybe he could get them sounding like classic Maiden, and he'd say no to Steve Harris on some of the bad ideas that he has. And maybe we'd have a record that sounds like classic Maiden. But that being said, my top 3 on this album would be Wicker Man. I like Out of the Silent Planet. That's another fast pace track on here. It's got the galloping type stuff in it, like you hear in classic Maiden. And I really like Blood Brothers. I didn't like that song at first, but when I experienced it live,
Yes,
everybody was singing, and now it's become like a metal anthem. Just like we're all of us here are blood brothers from metal. It's such a great song. I did see this tour. I saw it in Pittsburgh, and it was Queensryche and Rob Halford in support. And I got meet and greet passes from Maiden, so I bought a tour book there and got them all to autograph it, and I've got it framed.
nice.
And yeah, it was one of those things. I didn't know that I was going to get to meet Iron Maiden. Some friends it was before I even worked at Sanctuary. They had hooked me up with some meet and greet passes. They said for Halford, and I was excited about meeting Halford, and we go and we go back there, and they're like, Halford's not doing a meet and greet. And those passes are for Iron Maiden.
Oh,
and we're
shit.
like, wow, so I said I didn't bring anything to get signed. So I went to the merch booth and bought the tour book. I said, that's the perfect item to take back and get
Yeah.
autographed by everybody. But yeah, it was kind of funny because we're back there. Everybody's gathering around meeting Iron Maiden. And I had met Bruce and Adrian before when they were doing the Accident of Birth tour. And I saw Bobby Jerzombeck from Halford. And I'm like over there talking to him because I'm a big Riot fan. And he was in Riot. And he's like, there's Iron Maiden. Don't you want to talk to them? I'm like, no, I want to talk to you because you were in Riot. It's like probably just made his day, because nobody wants to talk to him if Iron Maiden comes out, But moving on to Judas Priest, that was 5 years later that we ended up getting got Priest have a new reunion album with Angel Retribution. I saw them on the Ozfest tour when they first got back together, and then I did see them when they did this tour. Actually, Richard was driving, and he hooked me up with tickets for this. I think Queensryche was the opening act for this tour.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was a good solid record, good comeback record for them. I didn't hate the Ripper period myself, but this was great to have Rob back. I preferred the Halford albums over the Ripper era Priest albums for sure, but I don't hate those records. I think we talked about that last time when we discussed that. But yeah, this was a solid record. I mean, Judas is Rising. I like that. I like Deal with the Devil, Demonizer. I mean, probably my top three would go with Judas is Rising, Demonizer, and I like Worth Fighting For. I think that's just a solid kind of mid-paced track. And
Yeah.
what Richard was saying earlier about Halford's more subdued vocals, it's really good. He's just such a great singer. But yeah, this is like I said, this is a classic record. It's classic style Priest record. I love that album cover. And if I got to pick one, I'm gonna go Priest because I'm more Priest than I am Maiden. I love both bands, but I like Priest a lot more than I do Maiden as far as the whole entire catalog goes.
So going back in that time capsule, so that album came out in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So they put this album out, but they toured what on the Ozfest in 2004, correct?
Mm-hmm. That was
So
the reunion.
Halford was when they came back on the Ozfest, I kind of remember that. So that was with Slayer, Judas Priest, and of course Sabbath, and we talked about this. So was that the return of Halford with Priest? So
Yes.
that was
Yes.
the big selling factor for that Ozfest too, to get turning was Halford's back with Priest. Yep. So
Well,
that was the year before this album was released.
yeah, actually, yeah. KK mentions in his book that they were in London it would have been the Demolition tour, right? 01, I think,
Yeah.
or maybe early 02. Anyway,
02, I think it was. Yeah.
They were in London, and Sharon Osbourne told KK and whoever was listening, Glenn, that but KK recites it in his book, saying that she says, stop this silly nonsense. You're wasting your time playing these little places. Get Rob back in the band. We'll put you on Ozfest. And he didn't say what the money that she offered, but he said it was a lot of money. And of course that it was Sharon Osbourne that really offered the money, and for probably self-serving reasons, but either way, she's the one that got the Rob Halford ball rolling. So
that was a killer lineup for Ozfest, and of course, we got to see Rob Halford sing for Black Sabbath because of that, him coming back. Yeah. And I was there that night too. We talked about that on an earlier episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, those
So,
are good.
yeah, Judas Priest is dominating this episode. I think we're gonna set the machine and fly all the way over to Norway and talk to Obie, and then we'll go talk to Ed, then to James, and round it off with me against tonight. If that's okay with everybody.
Cool, me.
Obie, wake up over there.
Yeah. I remember both albums coming out. This is real nice because actually I'm old enough to remember both albums. I'm going to start with Judas Priest because I remember album coming out. I heard Team Ripper's era and stuff, and it's like it's we have talked about these albums before, but there's something missing. There's a piece of the soul of the band that's not there. It's just high paced, straightforward, and then some ballads, and it's when Rob comes back, it adds so much depth to the songs, I feel, and to the whole energy of the band, really, when he is in the band, because he has such a presence, and he is so good with lyrics, and yeah, he has such charisma in a way. As for songs on the album, I like Worth Fighting For, because it's kind of a prequel to Desert Plains, I believe.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
It's a
And,
prequel to Desert Plains, or
yeah, story-wise, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Deal with the Devil is really cool, and Hellrider, I believe, is kind of a mix for Electric Eye and Hell, and the Blazing song on Painkiller. But
all
it's
guns blazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But Hellrider, I mean, it's such a good song. I mean, I think it's my favorite track on the album for sure, because it's like they're back. They're really back with that song. As for the ballad Angel, I feel like it's kind of a mix in, it feels like Prisoner of Your Eyes mixed with Turn on Your Light, with a kind of a less sappy lyrics, I guess we can call it. But the vibe and the guitar solo and the vocals is from that period, I think. So I feel this album, they are picking up a lot of pieces from their best things and kind of get back on track from their good period. And it's just been going upwards ever since. I know people don't like Nostradamus that much, but I like it. And when the Maiden came out, I remember I bought the vinyl because it was the first vinyl they had picture disc. They had picture disc vinyls. They came out with picture disc, in a double disc. So the vinyls was 3 inches wide, and it was so cool. And I finally got Derek Riggs back doing the artwork, and it's you got Bruce back and you got Adrian back, but the reason I'll talk about Brave New World, the reason why I really like Brave New World is so much because you got song credits from everybody in the band. It's really a united made album. It's not like Steve Harris makes 9 songs and then Adrian makes 2 songs and that's about it. And Dickinson makes some lyrics. It's really, you have Gears and you have Adrian making songs, and it's everybody is kind of a united production in a way. So I feel it's the most balanced album they have made since the 80s and after this album. So I'm kind of agreeing with everybody that this is the last great stance from them, because the more albums have come afterwards, the less and less it's a team effort. It's Harris, Dickinson, and Smith, and Gears get a couple of short songs to get the pace up. But Dave Mary is not even almost getting any songs in, and I feel that when you don't use the songs of everybody in the band, it becomes more one-dimensional. And I also feel the production from Kevin is getting flatter and flatter. It's it's less and less depth for each album, which is kind of concerning. But back to this album, there's a thin line I really like. It's because it's a Dave Mary song. Dave Mary has such a clean guitar tone. It's so easy to hear when Dave is playing, and you got those faster parts and the slower parts. Also, Brave New World, the title track, it's just the start of the song, and I feel like Bruce's vocals when he sings those words, Brave New World, it flows really well with his vocals. It's something I can just listen to because it's so much power in those words. As for me, the favorite song is Nomad, because the Nomad is such a cool story, and it's something different from anything else they really I've written since Power Slave, I guess, because it's the sand and it's kind of like the desolate and it's back in the old times. And the cleaner parts too there and the solos, and it's just I feel this album, so it definitely is Iron Maiden for me, because it's such a united made album. It's like I wish Maiden will come with a new album and they have like songs from everybody in the band, so you get a balanced album again, so you don't get Harris humping on the space for 12 minutes and Bruce Dickinson try to just be louder than the bass. And then Johnny Gears keep running around and just, hey, here I am kind of stuff. I wish they would become a unit again. That's it for me.
So you're going
Yeah,
with
you're gonna have to tie Yannick to something to make him not.
oh yeah.
But you know, I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem with him because I think he and Bruce and Steve just, I mean, mainly Bruce and Yannick are the stage presence. I mean, they're the ones running around. Steve comes up and writes, but Dave and Adrian kind of stay towards the back. You know, they don't really. They'll walk up to play a solo, and that's about it.
Last time I saw Maiden had really good seats, and guess where those seats were right in front of?
Yannick.
Yes, sir.
I don't think it's plugged in. The last time I saw
Yeah,
him,
flipping that shit around.
yeah, he throws it up and down, and you never hear a misfret. You never hear anything, and I really don't think the guy's plugged in.
Yeah.
And
they cut him back. They cut him back, I think.
I saw Cooper and Maiden, and I think Maiden were doing Seventh Son album. I'm drawing a blank, but it was like 10 years ago. But he run around, like he like a madman, and I never heard any misfretting or any bad notes. It's just like I was sitting there going, I love the guy's work with Gillan and stuff, but it's like I'm not sure what he plays in Iron Maiden, other than ballerina. But I'm not sure.
My only issue I ever really had with him live was on that first tour that they did back together when he was playing Adrian solos with Adrian standing there, and I'm like, but Adrian has over the years retaken his solos back on his songs, so that's great.
Yeah, that is
when,
good.
when Eddie comes out, he should tackle him and just like hold his legs the rest of the show.
Oh man.
Exactly.
So
Hey.
Obie, you're all finished up, and you went with who did you go with again?
Maiden.
Oh, Maiden. That's what I thought. Yeah, sorry.
Johnny Gears was
He always has to go. He always goes against the grain.
Richard, I don't recall if it was this last tour or the tour before, but Janik, he did fall. He just tripped over and fall down. And like you say, there was no miss sound in the guitar, and he just lay there and just like trying to play and like started to get up again, and there was no change in sound. So there may be somebody that's sitting on a switch there right when there's something that's not.
They got a good sound, man. They fade him up when his solo comes in and what he plays, and they fade him out. Otherwise,
you got a mute button. So you guys brought up that Deal with the Devil, and when I was thinking about that song, I actually haven't listened to Angel in a couple of months, but that Roy Z produced this record, and I always thought Deal with the Devil sounds like it could have been on Retribution or Crucible or something. It has that sound to it,
Oh, Resurrection or Crucible, yeah. It does sound a lot like, it does.
I just feel like Deal with the Devil, it could have been on there. It could have been a leftover from Halford,
All righty. I guess we're going to move on over to New York City and talk to this man who is super busy. Well, he's pretty close to New York City. He may be in Jersey right now, but
yeah, Jersey now.
He's got big doings going on in New York City. And before you give our picks, let's fill everybody in on your big festival coming up, which is not this weekend, but the following weekend, correct?
Weekend. Yeah, next weekend already. Labor Day weekend, the Rage of Armageddon Fest, my 8th one. 3 days, the ultimate heavy metal festival.
I think you're a little low, Ed. If you talk up a little.
All right, I'll move a little closer. That better?
Yeah.
Yeah, bands like it's going to be Labor Day weekend, August 29th, 30th, and 31st at the Meadows in Brooklyn. 3 days of just old school heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, power metal. Bands like Jag Panzer, Repulsion, Hellstar, Bitch, Overlord, Deceased, Blood Feast. Uh, just goes on and on. Like I said, 3 full days. I got an early start. We're doing bands, 9, 10 bands a day. Gonna end at 10 o'clock at night. I've got tickets on sale. I've got vendors. I've got VIP packages available. I've got Rage of Army getting T-shirts. Rage of Army getting bags. Rage of Army getting posters. All kinds of stuff. It's going to be an outrageous festival. It's basically signifying my 15th year of booking shows in New York City. So I went all out and just bought a band. 2/3 of the bands on this fest have been bands and playing live for 40 years and putting out records. And it's going to be a hell of a weekend. So, yeah, I've been a little busy with that lately.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope it goes well, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Thank you. And by the way, Tony, great T-shirt, the Oz shirt.
Thank you.
Did you get that at the tour?
No, this is a King Filey original.
Ah, nice, cool. Cool. All right, so Priest and Maiden. Yeah, the return of these two singers really signified the return of metal and the resurgence of true heavy metal. When Bruce first rejoined Maiden in '99, they did the Ed Hunter tour. It was mind blowing. The greatest Maiden. We said it that night. The greatest Maiden show I've ever seen or will ever see. The set list, the intensity, Hammerstein Ballroom literally shook with everybody in there. With Run to the Hills, it was literally the whole building was bouncing up and down. It was unbelievable. And the set list was just mind blowing. And the sound and the energy, and that just carried through to this album. Brave New World is a great Maiden return album. Wicker Man is a fantastic song. We've all said it. It is the last great Maiden song, pretty much. And this album is the last really, really good. I wouldn't say great, really, really good Maiden album. It's not Killer's a Piece of Mind, but it's a fantastic record. Better than the ones they had done before that. Better than I feel Summer in Time. I think this is the best record they've done since Power Slave, and definitely the best record they've done since this album. Every album, as we've said, is a little longer. I love long songs in general, except Maiden, because they do just get too long-winded. I can't get into it. It's too much, too intricate. They lose me, as they lose a lot of us. But this album kind of touches on some of that, but definitely regains a lot of the old Maiden feel. Has a lot of the Somewhere in Time, the early, like the late '80s, early '90s Maiden feel to it, songwriting, and it's just really great stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, as far as songs go, I said The Wicker Man, just a fantastic song, just old school Iron Maiden. Brave New World, Blood Brothers, The Mercenary, really great song with a killer riff in the chorus. Great stuff. Let's see. Judas Priest, they are the ultimate, Maiden and Priest, Maiden and Priest, Maiden and Priest. I'm definitely more in the Priest camp. Priest has that speed metal element to him, which has always appealed to me, way back to the '70s. I love Maiden, but Priest is always my band. And this album is a fantastic Priest album. This is, again, a great return to form for the band. The songs that kill having Rob back in the band. This album took a few more years for Rob to come back in the band. It was in '99. He toured with Maiden as Halford, and that was his return to really good heavy metal. Fight was good, but they were and we won't even get into two. But Halford was a great band, killer, and he kind of re-embraced his Judas Priest heritage, pulling back a lot of when he played live. He'd do a lot of classic Priest songs, and they sounded fantastic. So when he rejoined, wow, that was epic. And this is a great album. This is a really great album. Judas Rising is up there, one of those fantastic Judas Priest songs. A brilliant album opener. Going into Blood Brothers, just a really great fucking album. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, Judas Rise. Oh, Deal with the Devil is the second song. Sorry. Yeah, that's a great song. Revelation is okay. Worth fighting for. I love it. It's a cool, slower, as we were mentioning, it stands out. It's a little bit different sounding for Priest, but it's a really, really great song. And he's got fantastic vocal lines, and that's a great song. Beautiful song. Angel, I love the ballad. I really do. I think it's great. I don't normally like Judas Priest ballads either, but this one they really tapped in some good sounds on here. Hellrider, my favorite song on the album. Fantastic song. Haunting Eulogy, another good song. Lock Death, I can pass on that one. It has some good elements, some good parts, but it's too long and drags on and just kind of brings down the end of the album. But overall, a really good album. Of the two great albums, two great return to form albums, I would definitely go with Judas. Brave New World is good, the best Maiden album they've done in a while, but Judas Rising is definitely stronger. But both bands were great. It was a wonderful time seeing these bands back with the singers and all the original members again.
Okay. So you went with Judas Priest, all right? Another Priest vote. Ed, I was having a little hard time hearing you. Next time, I don't know if it's something with your mic or is everybody else hearing him okay? I don't know.
I heard him better when he got closer.
Yeah, I heard him good.
You could.
Yeah,
Talking about the Jonas Brothers, right?
Maybe it's my hearing. Anyhow.
Ed mentioned when Halford was doing the Halford band, and when he came back, man, they were doing a bunch of priests. They were doing some obscure priest stuff, and they were doing Stained Class and Running Wild, and I often wonder if the guys in the band just said, they were all fans, they were Priest fans, and they probably like, we needed, what Priest songs do you guys want to do in the set? And they start throwing out oddball stuff instead of just the regular run of the mill stuff you would expect. And yeah, that was definitely, I remember when he said they busted in Stained Class, and I was not expecting that. And that was like, wow.
I saw them at Lamore doing that. It was amazing. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And Never Satisfied did good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, we're gonna head over to James, our co-host tonight, I guess. What's up, James?
What's going on?
How's it going?
To add to Tony Dio's what he just said, that Halford Live Insurrection album is killer.
Incredible.
Yeah,
incredible. Love it.
And I like the new version of Prisoner of Your Eyes at the end of it. I think that's
yeah, they did it was 4 studio tracks at the end, and it had Heart of a Lion and the new version of Prisoner. Yeah, much better. Yeah, it works so much better.
Very good. So, like Obie, I am old enough or young enough to remember when both of these albums came out. And I remember Brave New World being a really big fucking deal, man. Because I remember a lot of you old school cats hated Blaze Bayley. So the fact that Dickinson was coming back was a big fucking deal. And for all the right reasons, man. This is a killer album. Not a bad song on it, honestly. Here's where you start getting a lot of the repeat choruses. Some of you guys have said like they could cut the fat down and all that stuff, which I get and I understand, but I love listening to Steve Harris play bass. So if the songs are long, I really don't care. I just love hearing that dude play bass. So bring on the long tunes. I really don't mind it. Sometimes the vocal lines in the choruses can get a little, no more lies over and over and over and over again. Makes me want to throw the CD out the window. But I just try to kind of focus on what Steve is doing. 3 favorite tracks off this one for me are going to be Blood Brothers. I love that song. Just like Obie, I love the Nomad too. That's a great song. It really has that Middle Eastern Egyptian vibe to it, and it's just really dope. And I love Out of the Silent Planet. That's a fantastic song. I also feel very much the way Obie feels about this being a collaborative album where kind of everybody gets a song credit in it except for Nico McBrain. And I really dig that because you could hear this is the last time you hear it's not just a Steve Harris project. Everybody's got their fingers in the pie. And I really dig that. Angel of Retribution. This is the one and only time I've seen Priest was on this tour.
Wow.
So I played this album to death when it came out. And I still dig it. I still dig it a lot. 3 tracks off this one for me are going to be Judas Rising, Angel. I'm a sucker for Priest ballads. Love that tune. And fuck all you guys because I love Loch Ness. I wanted them to do another track like that on the next album. It sounds like Sabbath with Rob Halford singing. It's so slow and doomy and plodding and just I love that it's long. I love that it's got like a stoner element to it. I think it's a fantastic, underrated Judas Priest track.
They're working on a Bigfoot song for the next album.
Good. I hope it's twice as long as Loch Ness is, and you guys all hate it.
I hope it stays hidden like Bigfoot.
Good.
What's that?
I said, I hope it stays hidden like Bigfoot.
Well, yeah, here's another
Sasquatch.
one. Tracks, man.
Sasquatch. He lives in the woods.
It's almost, it's very similar to the theme of the 60s TV show Flipper, a little bit. The creature from the sea.
I guess. Fair enough.
I don't know. That's my crazy mind.
Yeah, no bad ones on this. Just like Brave New World, this was tough for me, man. This was really tough for me. It took a lot of listens going back and forth. Yeah, some rippers on here too. We talked about with Hellrider, Demonizer. I'm gonna.
There's no ripper on there. It's Rob.
No. Fucking dad jokes.
No rippers.
Dad jokes.
Hey, he's got KK's Priest behind him. I see it back there. He knows the good shit. So
that's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Brave New World by a hair.
Wow. Okay.
Just by a hair. Just by a hair. It took a lot of listens this past week for me to make that decision. If you'd have asked me back in 2005 when Angel of Retribution came out, I would have absolutely said this. But just going back to Brave New World again and listening to Steve Harris jamming on it, I love every second of it. It's just going with Brave New World.
Cool.
All right. So I guess it's my turn now. I'm going to be just the opposite of James in a way, because I think even a couple of years ago, and definitely 20 years ago, I would be, I guess I shouldn't tell you which one wins first on my pick, but I guess I'll talk about Brave New World first. I love the Wicker Man song. I think Ghost of Navigator is one of the highlights from that. Blood Brothers, yeah, the live experience, I agree. Whoever mentioned that earlier, I remember going to see them. Was it Book of Souls or maybe the tour before that? And I know Chris Allo hates that song, and he's like, "Oh, they're doing Blood Brothers again." But like the whole crowd is like singing along, and everybody's in unity. It doesn't matter what politician you like or whatever else football team you like. Everybody's a Maiden brother that night. So,
got your arms around your brothers, beer slinging everywhere.
Yeah. There are some songs on here that I don't really care for that much going forward. As I listen to this album a few times in the last couple of weeks, I'm not a big fan of Dream of Mirrors. I'm not a Fallen Angel I could do without. Nomad's good. Out of the Silent Planet I like a lot. Thin Line I'm not a giant fan of. As I compare these two records, listen to Angel Retribution. I hadn't listened to this album in forever. In fact, I don't even think I own it on vinyl because I couldn't find it anyhow if I did. But it kicks off with Judas Rising. I think that's a very strong song. And of course, it was Return of Halford, and when Judas Priest was back, and Judas Rising, Deal with the Devil, I think it's a great song. Revolution, as Tim talked about, is a catchy grooving song that comes going. Demonizer. Angel, I could do without. Eulogy, I'm not a huge fan of Loch Ness either. Sorry, James, but Wheels of Fire is okay. But if I compare the two albums, I'm gonna go with Angel Retribution tonight, actually. My wife and I were listening to both of them last couple mornings, and I don't know, I wasn't really feeling the Maiden as much as I was, and I really love that album. I think it's the strongest Dickinson album in the last out of the newer albums. I would pick Brave New World over anything they put out. Final Frontier and Book of Souls and Senjutsu. I think it's the strongest one with Bruce returning, but I'm going to lean a little bit with Angel Retribution. And I'll agree with what Ralph said with Judas Priest. Judas Priest on these last couple releases, Firepower and Invincible Shield, are giving you what you want to hear. You want to hear heavy tracks, and Invincible Shield came out with some heavy stuff. Firepower was a super heavy record too, where Maidens go frolicking through the forests, and some people like that, some people don't. They're it's kind of like they've gone very proggy. Maiden has, where Priest is stuck to the metal roots more, I think. So we'll continue on with this series, and we'll talk more about some of the releases as time goes on coming forward, and maybe compare the later live experiences as we go to see Priest recently. And I didn't catch the Maiden tour last fall. I was under the weather, but I could catch the last couple, and both put on great performances live. But that's another one we could touch on in a future episode, is just what do you think of the live performances now compared to back in the day? I mean, Rob Halford, when I saw him last year, he was firing on all cylinders. When I saw that tour twice last spring, and here comes Priest back again this fall in the States, or late summer, fall, with Alice Cooper and Corrosion of Conformity. And of course, Maiden's on tour in Europe, and I've talked to a couple of customers and a couple of friends. Nick Franco was over there and caught them, and had an old friend of mine, old employee of mine, went to see him in Portugal. And they said they've been putting on killer performances too. So both bands are still going strong, and it's always fun to touch on these two bands and chat. So anybody that's watching in the comments, please mention which album you like better. If you've seen these tours, what experiences you've had on the tours, or just what your favorite albums are in the comments. And I don't know. It was great to have everybody on tonight. I'm glad I was back, and good to James and Tim and Richard and Count and Tony and Obie and Ed. Tim, what do you got? You got any gigs lined up with British Steel?
It's pretty quiet right now. We don't really have anything until fall. We were supposed to be playing this past weekend, but that kind of fell through. It was going to be with an Iron Maiden and a Black Sabbath tribute, but unfortunately that didn't.
That. What happened?
There was a scheduling conflict with the venue. So
where was it?
It was a place in Connecticut, Rockin' Horse.
Oh, okay.
So we're hoping that we can put that bill together somewhere else, and I think it would be awesome. But in the fall, we got some stuff coming up in the fall, up in like the Albany area and stuff. So
hopefully we can get you back down here in Middletown sometime.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll chat. All right, cool.
Absolutely.
So James, any finishing words, or are we about ready to wrap this baby up?
Yeah, I guess we're ready to wrap this up. Please like and subscribe and leave comments.
Yes, do that.
Which album do you like better? Who do you agree or disagree with? Hopefully you agree with me if you're smart.
Oh boy. They better.
We'll be back
with James. I keep reading comments how people at first didn't like James, but now they can't wait to watch him on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights. Okay, he's rubbing his little beard there.
People love me. What can I say? I'm
man.
I'm an addictive personality. So we'll be back. We're going to be doing a rank and file of Motorhead And then we've
All
got
right.
more stuff for you guys, so stay tuned.
You're doing rank and file of Motorhead.
We're
This
doing
week?
rank and
Yeah,
file
right.
Motorhead tomorrow night.
Nice. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
It
A lot of
certainly
albums.
is. Obie and I are fucking sick of Motorhead right now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you. So
Absolutely.
we'll see you back next week on the Rock Fantasy YouTube channel. Bang.
All righty.
Goodbye.
guys.
Take it easy.